Welcome everyone to session 1 of Pray for Death, the fun new module, of course, where we're going to get to see some interesting events play out, ending with the beginning of the War of the Immortals. Get some atmosphere playing. We want some music. Make sure your music volumes, your overall global volumes are pretty down low, otherwise your ears are going to hurt as we play. Let's jump right into it. The cataclysmic years known as the War of Immortals have left deep scars across Golarion, reshaping the divine landscape in ways no mortal could have foreseen. As the Godsrain poured down from the heavens, war ignited amongst the pantheons, new deities ascending and claiming their place amongst the stars, whilst others fell. Their thrones shattered by treachery and bloodshed, their powers consumed or stolen. All of this started from a single point, one moment in time, plotted with fervor over an untold amount of time. A moment where the god of war, Gorum, fell. His demise, orchestrated so cleverly, unleashed an era of strife and relentless conflict, plunging Golarion into greater turmoil than it had seen in a millennia. In the wake of this divine disaster, scholars and historians have turned their gaze backward, desperately seeking to understand the chain of events that led to such an unimaginable outcome. They comb through tomes, sift through the ashes of ruined temples, consult with what few surviving witnesses they can. Their efforts have uncovered fragments of a story, an elusive narrative that speaks to a group of mortals who found themselves at the center of a conspiracy so vast and intricate that it would shake the very heavens. This band of individuals, while far from ordinary themselves, were thrust into a deadly game of power and deception, their actions setting into motion a sequence of events that would culminate in the death of a god. The final fate of these individuals is a subject of intense speculation. Some say they were destroyed in the cataclysmic battles that marked the war's beginning, their bodies turned to ash in the fires of divine wrath. Others believe they vanished into the plains, their fates intertwined with the very gods they witnessed. But recently, in the fragments of a land devastated at the beginning of the war, a curious discovery was made. A set of notes, charred, weathered, yet still barely legible. I believe these notes to be a first-hand account of one of this group's members, and from what I've managed to decipher so far, may even hint at their survival against all odds. The handwriting is hurried, the ink smudged, but the message is clear. These individuals did their utmost to survive the war. Perhaps did live to see the aftermath of their deeds. Perhaps they still walk the world today. Their identity hidden amongst the countless souls whose lives were turned upside down by the fallout of their actions. I wonder how they feel. Given the chance, would they go back and make different choices? I may never know, but as I sit here, their notes in my hand, I hope to at the very least decipher their original intentions, finally peel back the curtain on the opening of the War of Immortals. This is a letter sent by Professor Isolde Halstern, an eminent researcher into the origins of the War of Immortals, notable for their journeys across the plains to uncover the after effects of the war, not just on Golarion, but across the entirety of the Great Beyond. Professor Halstern's corpse was recently found in their home in northern Ustalov. The wounds riddled across the body, the clear work of sawtooth sabers, a well-known core weapon belonging to the Red Mantis assassins. Why the professor was targeted, I do not yet know, but the original notes that the professor claimed to have in their leather are missing. My professor was a careful one, though. Always made sure to create copies before doing anything else, and luckily, I know where he keeps these copies hidden. And so here I sit, Professor's handwritten copies of events that began the Godsrain in my hands. It looks like they begin on the 18th of Eridus, 4724 AR. Early morning that Oath's Day. While at your level of strength, you don't necessarily need to worry about getting surrounded by ruffians and guards. It has always been easier for you to simply escape once your target is deceased, rather than fight your way past every new enemy you've just made. After all, your assassination targets are quite strong these days, and even though your missions always end in success, the actual assassination process is never perfect enough that your targets can't fight back.
Okay.
Sylvia, we can hear you talking to someone.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
So as we begin our story proper, the alarm on the ship ringing behind you, your blades wet with the blood of Captain Garrick Bloodfin. You all dash to the edge of his ship, vaulting over the railing of the Wavescar, landing on the precarious docks below you. A series of wooden planks stretching out over and around a maze of boats, crates, barrels, rope, you name it, before you, slick with sea spray and spilled cargo. As the yells of the remaining crew and their dogs begin to go louder through the mists of early morning air, I would like everyone here to roll initiative for me, please.
Can I be avoiding notice at this time?
At this point, no. You all have just finished an assassination and are running for your lives. Maybe not for your lives, but at least to get out of here without having to kill more people.
Well, I'm probably not disguised.
That is fair if you think your disguise would be out at this point. Fantastic. Memento, as an FYI, on your character sheet, below the actual perception check is the initiative button itself, which has a little drop down for changing the skill. I can go ahead and set your perception roll to your initiative, and because it was a natural 1, go ahead and gain a hero point for it. Okay. So, we are currently in a chase at the moment. While there are quite a lot of enemies, and you could probably kill them without too much issue, the easiest way to move past this, melt back into the darkness, and move on to your next job is always to escape. And it shouldn't be that difficult for you all to accomplish. But, as we start here, Atlas, as you decide what you would like to do, would you please describe your character to the group?
He's a automaton wolf man, and as we begin to flee, his crossbow fold up into his arm, and he will drop down to all fours to gain more speed.
All right.
And then I will. I don't know how to proc my invisibility rune.
You would just
I'll just say that I do it.
Yeah, you go ahead and go invisible. This is a greater invisibility, so I believe that is a 4th rank invisibility it's casting on you.
Really?
It's either greater invisibility or it just lets you cast it 3 times a day.
I think it's just more times a day.
Ugh.
3 times a day.
Yeah.
Only 2nd rank.
Cool. Okay, so you go ahead and drop invisible. That's definitely going to lower your DCs for escaping here.
Then I'll spend 2 actions to just flee, I guess.
All right. I am going to ask for sort of escaping this area, acrobatics or athletics to try and quickly jump across the wooden boards of the docks without slipping and falling into the water.
Okay.
And your DC for this, we'll say, is 30.
You know what? I got 3 hero points. Let's use one.
All right.
Okay, classic hero point.
Fantastic. Well, the good news is go ahead and get that hero point back.
I like this new rule already.
Already coming in clutch. As you drop down onto all fours, activating your armor to go invisible, your crossbow folding up into you, and begin trying to bound across the wet docks. Unfortunately, everything is a bit too slippery at the moment. As you try and gain traction underneath you, you sort of lose your balance for a moment, almost falling, managing to keep yourself standing though, but you don't make a ton of distance. You do not manage to escape the docks yet, and make it into the streets. Now, is dropping down onto all fours an action for you, or can you just do it for free?
I think I could just do it for free.
That is your hunter automaton heritage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just if you have both hands free, you can increase your speed to 30 feet. And getting rid of your crossbow does make you free. So go ahead and give me one more check if you would like to try and get further, since you do have one more action.
There we go.
Perfect. After you stumble for a moment, almost struggling to get your feet under you, you very quickly manage to nimbly dash and dodge over the wooden planks, escaping from the docks themselves into the darkened alleys of Riddleport. Gamail, what are you doing? And as you describe what you're doing, would you describe your character as well for us?
Certainly. So he is an automaton. He has a glass plate where his face would be. That's slightly cracked, and underneath it you can see swirling mist and things like that. And inside the mist you can see fabric blowing around, and that's his hand wraps of mighty blows that are wrapped around a gem in the middle of his head. And yeah, he is accompanied by a pet robot construct. And he will, yeah, that's killer. And so this is a chase, you said?
We are in a chase at the moment, yes.
How far behind are our pursuers?
They're on obstacle 0. They are getting off the ship at the moment. You guys are on the docks escaping.
Okay. So I guess he'll use 2 actions to activate Cloak of the Bat
All right.
to give himself a 30-foot fly speed.
And you're specifically just gaining the fly speed. You're not casting pest form on yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just getting the fly speed.
Sounds good.
And then with his final action, he will move 30 feet.
Absolutely.
He's going to stay low, but just this is to pass over the board problem.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics still, since maneuvering in flight is still a thing, but your DC is going to be significantly lower. I think I'm going to go ahead and call your DC 26 here.
Okay, this should give me a +2 to maneuver in flight.
Perfect. Even better.
Well, so acrobatics, Cloak of the Bat. Here we go. Does armor check penalty apply to?
I believe you meet your strength requirement for your armor, so it should not.
Okay.
It'll just be listed as an option on Foundry.
35.
Easy enough. That is a... Yeah, you meet your strength requirement of your armor, so you can always leave those check penalties off.
Okay, and then...
Yeah, as you just... go ahead.
Oh, my automaton gets one action, even if I didn't command him, so he would also follow.
Perfect.
Succeeding to make an acrobatics.
I'm not going to ask for rolls for your companion. I'm going to assume, since they've got the action to keep up with you, they're mostly keeping up with you without too much of an issue.
Okay, cool. That's my turn.
All right, as you dive up into the air and begin flying over the streets, not having to worry about slipping and falling, just keeping low enough and making sure you don't actually clip the water at all and lose your balance. You make it easily off the docks, escaping the area of all the pirate ships, making your way into the more twisting and riddled alleyways of the city this early in the morning. It's about 4 in the morning at this point. It's the middle of the night. The moon is out, very few clouds. It's a beautiful starry night. Some mist over the ocean at the docks itself, but as you get into the city, that quickly vanishes. Leela, that's going to bring us to you.
Mhm.
And would you please describe your character for us?
You see Sneeple. She has the gold eyes of her people, silver hair, and she's wearing full plate that's stylized to look like the red mantis armor. But it's not. She's strong, tall, but covered in scars, having lived a very tough life. That's about all I can think of right now.
All right.
I will follow in Gamel's footsteps. It's
Sure.
that time.
All right, everyone just turning themselves into bats here, or at least gaining the ability to fly.
Yep.
Very nice. All right, as you, following Gamel, take off into the air, if you want to give me that acrobatics check as well, please.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, DC 36, you should have your +2 item bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Yeah, just keeping pace with both Atlas and Gamel, the three of you charging off of the docks into the city itself. As you've done escapes before, this is easy, practiced work for all of you. None of you should have any real issues getting away from these people. Memento, what are you doing to keep pace with the rest of your comrades? And what is your character's description for the group?
Well, she is a halfling with glowing red eyes that almost mimic the flames of hell. Her horns are sharp and black, giving her this almost ominous look. But her skin is like she was charred by hell's flames themselves. But what she's doing to aid in the escape is, may I cast Mist?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah. Are you casting just a regular mist, or are you casting from your wand? Your solid
regular
fog.
mist.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. As you just let a bit of mist out, managing to obfuscate yourself and your party members, making it hard for the chasing pirates to catch up. You're not doing much to escape them very easily, though the rest of your group is doing well enough that you're able to keep pace with them as you're casting this spell behind you in order to aid in your group's escape. That's going to lower everyone's DCs from this point forward for getting out of here. Fantastically done. And last but not least for this I don't want to call you a group of misfits. You guys are all highly skilled individuals. But I am judging the party makeup still. Philippos, will you describe your character and what you're doing?
So for him, he is a bit strange as he is large doing these kinds of missions. He is wearing what seems to be a metallic armor that fits snugly against his body. But yet, every time that he steps, it doesn't make the noise that you would think that a minotaur would. It's more quiet than before. And then, so I'm still visible, right?
At the moment, yes, you are not attempting to hide. You did not do so when you were vaulting over the side of the ship there.
So I'll stop and turn to them as I then cast invisibility.
Fantastic. And is just using the invisibility from your armor? Yes, it is.
Yes.
All right, yeah, using it as one action as you alongside with Atlas just both vanish from sight. Two of you taking to the air, two of you vanishing, one of you obfuscating the entire group's movement away from these pirates.
And then that does make me hidden, right?
It does automatically make you hidden, yes.
So
Technically
they
it makes
would
you automatically undetected, but
they would then be frightened. Because
is that
something
only
so
to
large.
any enemy within 30 feet of you, or just every enemy?
Anyone who has seen me disappear.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Now,
That's
if we're
Here, let me put it in chat.
if
I
we're
would love
doing
it.
wording, it is when you successfully hide while previously observed.
Oh.
They become
I can-
frightened.
I can hide.
Yeah, I'm gonna say invisibility works for it because it's too funny not to.
I'd be terrified if a minotaur turned invisible.
That's the whole point.
There you go.
When
That's
a
what it's
minotaur
called.
vanishes from sight, it's alarming.
And then I will just fly.
Oh yes, the minotaur can fly as well. Now, how does that take form? Because I believe it is an armor modification you've done. Do you
Yeah,
have
so-
wings built into them, or what's it look
No,
like?
it's more of due to the electrical nature of the armor itself, kind of propels me forward and upward.
All right. Fantastic.
And I'll just use the 2 actions to
Sure.
stride, basically.
You want to go ahead and give me an acrobatics check as well. Your DC at this point, we're going to lower it down to 22 to get out of here because you guys have so much
As
going
long-
on.
As long as I don't roll a 1.
That's not a
I
one,
got close.
but thankfully, because it's not a one, that is a success. All right. As you all vanish from the docks into the streets themselves, trying to avoid the dogs, trying to make your way through the streets to a safe house you guys have prepared already. We're going to do one more round of actions and choices for each of you. The skill you use, though, is going to be entirely up to what you want to do for how you are trying to make sure you get away from these pirates and the guards that are sure to be reacting and make it back to your safe house safely. So, Atlas, you're up first. Do you have anything in particular, any spells, any skill checks that you think will really lend to you getting home?
I would like to activate my masquerade scarf and just become a normal dog.
Fantastic.
And then I will activate my clandestine cloak
Okay.
and become just your everyday background dog.
Fantastic.
Hmm.
Yeah, pulling up the hood as well, even though you already look like a dog. Will you go ahead and give me either stealth or deception, I think, is going to be a good roll here.
I think deception is fire.
Deception's probably the better option. You are getting the bonus from your cloak. And because you've got illusory disguise...
Oh my god.
Stop with the natural ones, Atlas. Goodness gracious.
Get out of here.
Much better.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that is a... you should have also had a +4 status bonus because of illusory disguise.
Oh, that's sick.
So, a 30 there would have been a success dropped down to a failure with the natural one, but a critical success on a 45, absolutely enough. Any of the guards that start coming through, you are a normal dog.
I'm
And
just
because
a dog.
You're just a dog. There's many dogs in the streets of Riddleport, and because you can look like a different dog every time, those few pirates on deck who might have seen you prior, you can just be a different dog. They don't necessarily recognize you. That is absolutely going to ensure that you escape from here without any issue and are able to return to the safe house. Gamel, what you got?
Hmm. So we have a safe house?
Less so maybe safe house. It could literally just be an in-room you guys have all rented together, or a suite, or just a place you guys have all decided is your meetup point once you successfully complete this job. Since most of the time when escaping, you may choose to separate to help your perhaps less skilled members get away, though all of you are quite skilled in your own right with things.
Yeah.
And it can really be as simple as just rolling stealth to try and hide yourself at this point if you've got nothing else.
If we were able to prepare for this whole thing, would I have
Yeah.
been able to drop some snares?
Yeah, I think you could have dropped some snares on your way to the assassination. You guys did your work, you planned it, you got the lay of the land. So definitely setting some up on your preferred escape route, I think, would definitely be possible.
Yeah, so I would have done a binding snare,
Sure.
and what's this one? And a snagging hook snare.
Okay, yeah, trying
Both
to
of which should slow down.
immobilize anyone
followers.
chasing you.
And then we'll say I take 2 actions to turn those on as I run by. I don't know if that's the rules. I need to look
Yeah,
at
we'll
it.
say it works for this. That's cool. Then I think I'm going to ask for a crafting check for you. I believe you have quick activation on them. But in this case, I'm still just going to ask for a general crafting check.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, I think DC 22 is still pretty solid for what you've got
Okay.
at this point.
+1 from artisan tools.
Yeah, you've got those. You've got them set up. Perfect.
43.
Yeah, and you specifically have... you've got surprise snare, so you can deploy snares as a single action. Actually, no, that's not surprise snare. That is... You've got remote trigger, which is perfect. So, yeah, you can toss things to set your preemptively set snares.
Yep.
You,
And then
you don't have lightning
spend
snares yet. That's what it is.
my last action to move another 30 feet.
All right, sounds good. Yeah,
And my robot will follow 30 feet as well.
perfect. Yeah, setting a few, just having those snares preemptively set up, not even necessarily needing to go super close to them, but just anytime someone gets close to you, quickly putting it together, dropping it on the ground, and tossing something behind you to make sure it triggers as the enemy approaches it. The few people who might be onto you and able to catch up quickly get bogged down by your traps, held back. Some of them even injured pretty badly as well. But you are easily enough able to escape. Leela, what are you up to?
I'm gonna land on a roof because flying around is pretty noticeable.
It's pretty noticeable, yeah. It is the dead of night, though, so
I
at the
hope,
same time,
but-
if you went even higher, it might be hard to notice you.
Oh wow, my Aeon stones are going crazy.
Yeah.
Haven't
Aeon
seen that
stone
in
animations are always a
long.
little whack.
Yep.
Here, I'll end all but one of them for you.
But eventually the flying will fall out, and I want to make sure I can be able to see who's coming. So I'll hit the roofs and just jump from rooftop to rooftop.
All right, yeah. I think that's probably another acrobatics or athletics check.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. As you land, roll onto the roof as your magic begins to run out, and quickly just continue dashing forward, jumping across the few rooftops, ducking down onto a few balconies here and there where necessary. You are pretty easily able to cause anyone to lose sight of you as you continue rushing forward. Memento, what do you have?
How many would you say are on our tail?
Oh, that is a good question. At the moment, they're pretty scattered, so going after you specifically, we'll say around 8 pirates are on your tail with 2 dogs. Are currently
In that
generally
case-
chasing after you.
In that case, I'm going to cast hallucination on them.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
want to instill like a sense of fear, like diving into their sailor superstitions.
Sure. All right. Let's see. No real needs for a save from them. Instead, can you go ahead and give me an Arcana check?
Sure.
Beautiful. Yeah, as these group of pirates and dogs are continuing to chase after you down one of these many side streets, you quickly spin around, unleash your prepared spell at them, causing them to no longer see themselves on the wooden streets of Riddleport, but instead back out at sea as their ship slowly sinks around them, having lost a conflict against Cheliax's navy. As they start panicking, turning, trying to find ways to either save the ship or save themselves, looking for the life rafts, looking for you, completely out of mind for them. And you manage to pretty easily from there slip away into the darkness, make your way back to the rest of the group without any issue. Last but not least, Philippos. A big, invisible, flying minotaur. What you got for us?
Well, I shall stealth once more. But I'll stay in the air as once the invisibility wears off, my suit still matches its surroundings.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got your camouflage suit so you can disappear and blend in with the surroundings. Beautiful stealth
And
roll
then
right there.
also with this as well, I'm also foiling senses, because that's just any time that I make a stealth or hide check.
Yep, so that's against any special senses these might have. Most specifically, that's going to be the imprecise scent the dog's tracking you have. And so as you quickly pull out a few of your vials meant to mask your scent, as you continue to fly through the air, you very easily manage to dodge any of your remaining pursuers. And as per usual, a perfect assassination that you all have just undergone. The were-shark pirate captain Garrick Bloodfin lays dead in his cabin, and much of the treasure from his flagship's hold lies squarely in your pockets, having taken an extra cut for yourselves on your way out. Because why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. I can carry a lot of bulk, so yes.
As you all make your way back to your accommodations, do you have anything you would like to do, or are you just considering this job well done as per usual and resting without any worries?
I want street food.
At 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I should hope that there's some place for the drunks to get street food.
You know what? There are a number of dive bars. Most of them are back closer towards the docks, but if you wished to go back and pick up a little bit of food for you to eat as you're making your way back, I think you had more than enough time to pick up some snacks.
I'll do that. But I'll disguise myself for masquerade scarf.
Sure. Just changing yourself, look like someone inconsequential as you stop by one of the many bars and pick up. Yeah, we'll go ahead and say probably some of the fresh fish has probably just gotten brought back in at this time of day, so they're probably already cutting some stuff up. You get tacos, you could get kebabs, you could even just get the fish if you wanted.
Fish.
The robot eats fish, people. Good to know. Anyone else have things they would like to do either as you meet up, before you just bed down and take a break and rest?
I would like to do some prayers to He who walks in blood.
Absolutely.
I as well.
Sure.
I will take notes, I guess.
Garrick wasn't a religious man by any means. He was not a devout of Bismara, so there was not any need to grab his religious symbol to ferry back to Ilismagorti in the future. But you all probably did still take a prize, potentially his blade, or at least a broken fragment of it, as proof of the kill. But taking your time as you finish your assassination, find a place safe to offer your prayers to He who walks, for ensuring your success. There is a faint rumble in the air each of you feel as you complete your prayers, a distinct sign of perhaps not pride, but approval, if nothing else. You carried your job well, and at this point, each of you are among the stronger members of the Red Mantis Assassins. While you may not yet be members of the Vernai, you are favored by Blood Mistress Jacqueline herself. And whether for that reason or for another, He who walks seems to have taken notice of you. For better or worse. We don't know how good it's going to be for you guys in the long run. But I should ask you guys this. You've got a place that you know is safe to rest and relax in. Do you guys keep watches still in general, or when you've got a place like this, do you just rest without much issue?
Once everyone is in the room, I will rest against the door.
Fair enough.
You save any snares for the safe house?
I have 12 snares a day, so
Oh my
I
god,
keep watch.
that's so many.
So, I guess we can take watch, and if everybody's okay with that, and I have trimmer signs to where I can just send out a trimmer to you guys while you're sleeping or whatever, and let you know if there's danger or anything like that without saying anything.
Nice way to non-verbally alert people.
I think we'd be at the end of a hallway to
Yeah, absolutely. You guys,
set up a mirror ball snare.
all right.
It's basically a flashbang.
Just in case.
Yeah, and let's go with one of my raining knives snares. We'll do the big one.
Sure.
So it's 10 foot by 10 foot instead of.
All right. Then I
I
ask.
think I would have warned any proprietor not to come to our door.
Stay away. Sure. You've learned from experience that a good warning and a little extra coin goes a long way to making sure no proprietors accidentally trip your defenses. More than one in your early days succumbed to injuries after not heeding your request or snooping themselves. But as you've gotten stronger, gotten more competent, more threatening, more convincing, people have stopped meddling in your affairs, and those sorts
As
of
they should.
incidents have gone down the drain. Now, I ask if you all are taking watch here tonight for a specific reason. All your setup for the posts, sleeping against the door, Memento and others keeping actual watch in shifts, the snares you've set up outside the door, perhaps at the window as well, does nothing to stop a figure appearing in your room in the middle of the night. Well, I say middle of the night. I should probably say middle of your rest for the most of you. After all, the three automatons in the group, when you're resting, you don't even really need to shut your eyes entirely. You just sort of power down for a period. But I would imagine, Memento, when you're on watch, there is a brief warping of space in the center of your room, as if reality itself is folding in on itself. Very distinct signs you're well aware of translocation magic being performed. Someone is about to appear in your room. Or something, I should say.
Okay, so you said something's gonna come into the room.
Yeah, it looks like someone is about to appear. If you have anything you'd like to do in response to that, you're more than welcome to. Or you can just watch that magic complete.
I guess looking through my spells real fast. Yeah, I'm just gonna do tremor signs
Sure.
and alert everybody.
As you send out a pulse of energy, awakening your comrades so they are aware that something is happening.
That'll be worth it.
You all awaken in time for this spell to complete, as space that was folding in, almost scrunching together, suddenly expands once more, filling up what it was supposed to originally fill. There's a figure standing dead center of your room. A familiar figure, actually. Nothing in, or no one that you don't know. Slender Ivoran man, golden brown skin, long white hair, wearing a hooded red cloak over leather armor, dark red eyes, glittering. Unlike yours, though, Memento, they don't really look per se like they're burning, but more so like they are gemstones. You all recognize this figure, Vatum, a favored contact of Blood Mistress Jacqueline and one of the Vernai's couriers. Couriers tend to appear whenever there is an important job to be had and taken on. And they show up with the details ready to go for you. He appears in your room, a smile gracing his chiseled features. Well, well. Successful job as always, it seems. No complications in the process or escape, from what I could tell.
We strive to do only the best work for our God.
Then I have good news for you. Another individual has been selected for a visit from He Who Walks. He will pull out a folded piece of paper and quickly snap his fingers, and an identical copy will appear in each of your hands.
Read it.
Yeah. Well, no words on it per se, but there is a picture. What looks to be a middle-aged human man, long, kind of greasy-looking blonde hair cascading down past his shoulders, as well as a similarly colored long beard that hangs probably 6 inches or so down from his chin. Kind of natty-looking. You would almost call it like kept in a rustic sort of manner, if you would use that to describe facial hair. Wearing what looks to be full plate armor, the center of which is emblazoned with a very familiar religious symbol, the mountain signifying Gorum, the god of war.
A Gorum worshipper. That's interesting.
Killed them before.
Yes. One who has a obscure standing in his church, though, at the moment. I trust you have no issues killing the favorite of a god, should that be the case.
None.
Of course
Nope.
not.
Yeah, live for God, die by God. Yeah.
Whatever the decree is, it shall be carried out.
Wonderful. Your target's name is General Ordulf Bladecaller. Born in a now destroyed fishing village on the shores of Glacier Lake in Irison. Fled west is currently found in the lands of the Linorm Kings. Rumors have it that he has personally wrestled one of the chicken-legged animated huts that guards the frozen borders of Irison, and what have won him acclaim and respect in the eastern regions of the Linorm Kingdoms. The hunt is yours to take on. If you have any further questions, I am, of course, happy to answer them to the best of my ability, but as soon as you are ready, you had best set out.
Okay.
Did they say why they want him dead?
Doesn't matter.
Not to me.
Well, depending on that, we might see what we can do.
Recent rumors say that Ordulf is preparing his forces to wage war against Trollheim. Rather than following local tradition, killing a Lenorm to become king, he plans to simply take it from the current monarch by force.
Oh, that's all right. What a coward.
Many in the surrounding area view it as an affront to tradition. But Ordulf's reputation is such that none dare oppose him at the moment. But many whispers have reached us. Whispers who seek his demise.
All right. I'm disposed to right little king.
We shall depart in the morning.
Wonderful. Don't forget, as per usual, as a religious figure, once the deed is done, you are to return to Elismagorti. This personal religious symbol as an offering of respect. I trust you know the details.
Of course.
Then I shall bid you all a good rest and happy hunting.
In the future, it would probably behoove you to send a message before you're coming.
This is your message.
Oh, I meant to protect you.
Yeah.
I look forward to the day that you manage to get the best of me. Prevent my appearances in person. And he will mutter a quick phrase under his breath. Space will fold in on him. And just as before, he will vanish in a moment. Space returning to how it was, leaving you all in your room, with no one in front of you anymore.
Does anyone know how long it's going to take for us to get there?
Where was there again?
The north.
Yeah, the lands of the
Lands
Lenorm
of
King are what you're looking for in particular. You did not get from Vatum where exactly he is, so since he's planning to wage war on Hag's Reach, it might be best to make your way to Trollheim, its capital, and see if you can find out anything about him from there.
We're in Varissia, right? Riddleport.
Yeah, you're in Riddleport. If you're looking to get to Trollheim from here, you could probably contract an airship, and it would take you around 12 days.
Yeah.
So, anything else you would like to do before resting? Or finishing your rest, I should say?
No.
Could I? No, it doesn't last as long as I thought it was gonna be. Spells are fun, yet frustrating at the same time.
It only lasts so long.
No.
You all are free to go ahead and complete a long rest, bringing you to a little before noon, most likely. Since it was a late night, you do end up sleeping in a little bit today. But you managed to collect all your gear, pick up any orders that some of you had for some new equipment, knowing that you were about to come into a great amount of coin, which you did, and rent an airship unless there's anything else you would like to do before heading out and heading north.
I guess from afar, I'll just check out the pirates.
Yeah.
That, just to see if they already elected a new person as captain.
Yeah. You are in Riddleport, which is the most northern port city in Varisia. It is a known haven for pirates, seafaring brigands. You all had been hired to visit, we shall say, pirate Captain Garrick Bloodfin, who were rumored, and less rumored, to be taking out their competition through more particularly acts of sabotage than anything else. They were known to break a large number of alliances soon after they had been made, almost making alliances solely to stab them in the back. And they had annoyed one too many crews and left one too many survivors. And so some whispers had reached your ears. The contract was settled, and you all had been sent to take him out. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Memento.
Just as a question, was using a spyglass make sense in this?
Yeah, I think you'd get that bonus from it. Now, I do want to remind you, the spyglass gives you an item bonus. You already are always getting an item bonus from your Eye of the Unseen to those
I think
visual-based
that's
checks.
yeah. I don't have that invested yet, or not right now,
Oh,
since
right.
that's I was gonna use my spyglass.
Sure.
It lets me see further away.
And as a general reminder, stealth, deception, and perception checks should pretty much always be rolled blind. Chase stealth rolls like that, and perception checks, those would be perfectly fine being rolled public, because it's for chase.
Just when I use my eye, definitely gives me away more. So I tried to not use it as much.
All right. Yeah. So you get the +1 item bonus from your spyglass then, which brings your total to that. Taking some time just in the morning, keeping an eye on the docks themselves. You don't notice anyone seemingly taking charge, per se, of the Wave Scar. It more so looks to you like fights have broken out amongst the remaining crew members. They seem to be forming factions of some sort, or at least groups, and seem to be fighting each other over the treasures in the hold. It does not look like they have noticed that you all already took the vast majority of what was in the hold.
Well, I am satisfied.
Does anyone in the party have the, oh goodness, what is the name of that? The Vernai training archetype feat? To to potentially prevent
Oh.
resurrection of targets?
I do.
Okay, good to know. Then I will assume, for the sake of Mr. Bloodfin here, that you were the one to deliver the final blow to help ensure that he would not be resurrected. All right. Any other last things you guys would like to accomplish here in Riddleport? Or specifically, is there anything you guys would like to accomplish on the 12 and a half or so day journey that you'll be on an airship from Riddleport to Trollheim?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I can't think
Oh,
of
go
it.
ahead. My bad.
I just make sure that there's plenty of food.
Of course.
And we're on an airship, right?
Yes, and they are well stocked and fancy enough that you don't have to go through rations or anything. There are meals provided whilst aboard them.
Are they affiliated with us, or is this like a?
This is more a public transit.
Okay.
It would be, the Red Mantises do have a few airships that they leave around primarily for their members. They did not have any stationed up here around Riddleport at the moment, though. If you would like to send a letter for one of them, you definitely could. You would end up waiting around here for a while for it to arrive, though. And that would probably cost you some coin.
So, are there any other passengers about?
On the ship you guys are on, let me check my notes. Yeah, there's about 10 others that are heading north right now on your ship, plus the crew, of course. So, all in all, there are around 21 or so people on this ship, including your group.
I'm gonna try to mingle with people and try to get an idea of them, seeing just to see if we don't have any threats we have to worry about. And
Sure.
as I do that, I want to use
Okay.
but use my. I think I have a way to.
Yeah, do you have subtle spell?
No, I do not.
So you can definitely use it, but these people are going to be well aware that you are using magic then.
Yeah.
If
I
you would
wouldn't wanna
like,
do
you can
that.
always just use a general gather information. You do have discreet inquiry, charming liar, so you could definitely just do regular gather information roll on these people if you would like.
Yeah, I'll do that and just instead of the glimmer trump card, I said cast that just to make sure nobody comes up behind me.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so every now and then you just cast it and have it behind you when you are getting deeper into conversation to just keep an eye out for anyone who might be sneaking up on you. gather information, of course, is in your basic action macros on your hotbar. Should be in the exploration tab of it.
The exploration tab.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. And do I use diplomacy for this, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, spending a few days here just chatting with all the other passengers, with the crew themselves, trying to get an idea of what each of them are heading north for. The lands of the Lenormand Kings aren't the most hospitable places in Golarion, so it is rare that you see people willingly heading in that direction. But there are, just from talking to these people, most of them seem to be adventurers hoping to make a fortune hunting ice trolls in the region of Trollheim. It's not the most lucrative thing, but it is dangerous enough that there is solid pay for those who successfully do it.
And possible hindrance for us.
You would probably, just taking a look at these people, none of them appear particularly threatening to your group. Mostly newbie adventurers, maybe only one or two more experienced members who are sort of the leaders of their groups.
Right. Where we're going, we shouldn't have to deal with ice trolls.
Most likely not, no. Ice trolls will probably be the least of your worries compared to who you're going after. Frost trolls are level 4 monsters, so you guys could kill them with ease at this point. The people who are going out in parties hunting them are probably in the level 1 to 3 range.
Yeah, but they get annoying.
Fair enough.
To leave blood on your sword, and you have to clean it.
Now, would I be correct in assuming that the vast majority of the time, at least during daily life, you guys are typically keeping your sawtooth sabers, any masks of the mantis, or any other distinguishing marks of being red mantis assassins hidden?
Yeah.
Yes, I keep my tattoo especially hidden.
Perfect. Yeah. It's can be useful to show those things to people, but most of the time having them obvious is just going to make everyone more alert to your presence and any jobs harder to accomplish.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
mean, we're
sure-
using the scarf to hide everything.
My sawtooth is a saber. Will just be in my spacious pouch.
Mine are in hidden compartments in my armor, if I remember correctly.
Sure.
I will do this like outside our room every day or inside our room every day, just in case.
Yeah.
Anyone tries to break in.
Sort of like on the door frame.
Yeah, like if they open the door and they don't know how to avoid it.
Marking snare is just the tape on the door frame of snares. Yeah, absolutely. And you can use your class DC for snares, correct?
Yeah, so it'll be a DC
32, I want to say, for your current level. Maybe 33? 33.
Where's my class DC?
Bottom of your proficiencies tab.
Yes, 33.
Perfect. All right. Does anyone else have anything important, or just in general, they would like to try and accomplish on these 12 or so days?
I'll find the most gregarious group guy that's getting drunk all the time
Um,
and
Sure.
pretend I drink as much as them, but just use their drunkenness as a sort of cover.
Sure. Yeah, just sort of blending in with the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
would you consider scrying to be a divination spell?
Yes, you've got your Codex of
Or
Unimpeded Sight, which is a bit weird right now because divination isn't really a school anymore; those don't exist. But I would allow anything with the scrying trait to activate that Codex's ability.
then may I? So it says the grimoire offers you a glimpse into the truth of things, seek or recall knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So may I seek to see if there's anything hidden around here?
Yeah, absolutely. Just sort of keeping an eye out for anything that might threaten you as you're talking to these people.
And in this instance, would keen eyes come into play?
Yes, because seeking is pretty much always perception based.
Okay.
On the fourth day of your trip, as you are chatting with a group of three of these up and coming adventurers, they just admitted that they were heading to Trollheim. The strongest of them really appears pretty weak to you. You do notice out of the corner of your eye a female gnome who you don't recall seeing with anyone else on this trip so far. They've just sort of kept to themselves. Fiddling with something. It's an elongated shape, sort of kept in their sleeve. It could very well be a knife. You're not entirely sure. But they definitely have something hidden.
I'll tremor since my allies cut the short message would just be like a sense of danger.
With
And
that,
can I use my deception to kind of point her way without being noticed by her?
Yeah, I'm not going to ask for a roll for anything. I'd say simply with tremor signs, you could pretty easily mark out this individual to your group.
I guess with that, I will conceal myself or hide or stealth.
Sure. Yeah, as you're like on your way to go drink with that pair of individuals that you've been drinking with the last few days, you get this notice and just instantly sort of vanish. Now, I will let you choose here if you would like alarming disappearance to activate or not.
I'll make it look like that I'm like going to a room before I like fully disappear.
Okay, yeah, so you're sort of out of sight when you hide from everyone.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. You just sort of duck into a room, quickly activate your optical camouflage, step back out into the space. No one seems to have seen anything out of the ordinary, noticed that you have gone missing in such a way that would concern them. You kept it pretty natural.
I will activate Arcane Eye.
Sure.
And I'll try to get close to her or close to the gnome.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Gamail, you have the enhancement for Arcane Eye, correct?
No, I have the enhancement for the beam.
Gotcha. So that is just granting you dark vision at the moment.
I will cast See the Unseen on myself. as well as
Oh, okay. I don't. I can't even cast it then.
Yeah, it's the enhancement for Arcane Eye that gives you invisible,
Okay.
or lets you
Oh, there you
cast See the Unseen once per hour. Like, just the feat on its own grants you dark vision.
Okay.
Who is that casting See the Unseen? Is that you, Filipos?
Yep. Lila.
Leela, thank you. Let's see. Casting See the Unseen on yourself, doing your best to keep the activation of the magic just sort of away from everyone else so they don't necessarily notice it. It's not obvious. Taking a sweep around, you don't see anyone invisible. You guys are all sort of in the common room of the airship right now. There's no blurred forms. There's no incorporeal creatures that you notice. You don't see anyone that seems to be hiding themselves. This gnome doesn't seem to have noticed anything out of the ordinary and is just sort of still sitting there, fidgeting with whatever is in their sleeve. Yes, just letting her be. Is anyone interacting?
Well, it was good. Do something cool, but then I realized that I don't technically have that spell.
Oh. That's not good. Not have it as in it's not prepared, or not have it as in it's not in your spell book?
It's not in my spell book. It was mind reading, which I originally picked mentalist before I went to ours.
Mind reading is always a fun spell, but pity you do not have it at the moment.
Is that a divine spell?
I want to say it's occultism arcane. Mind reading, arcane and occult.
Oh, darn.
It is a tragedy that I know these things off the top of my head. Are you doing anything, Atlas? You have been notified that something is up with this little gnome.
I don't know. Can I attempt to befriend the gnome as a dog? Is it eating or anything to do with scraps? Can I beg for a treat?
Sure. Have you been talking to anyone as a dog, or are you truly doing your best to, like,
I'm a dog.
show up as a dog?
I'm a dog.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm going to ask for a deception check to lie for me. Actually, do you have Charming Liar, by chance?
I have Charming Liar.
I don't believe so.
You'll...
Because that is the feat that lets you lie to someone and improve their,
Can I really quickly take something off and take that? Because that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I'd say you can go ahead and switch that out. That's a feat that would make a lot of sense for you to have.
I will trade foil senses for it.
Sure.
Real quick, can I cast detect metal in her area? This does sound if that's a special metal.
So that just tells you the presence of metal or not. You can also see through potentially disguises. And you can also discern.
Oh, it doesn't
types of
register the
metal.
type.
Sorry?
Oh, it doesn't register what kind of type it is. Only the
Yeah.
presence of metal. But can
I
so that's
would
not
say
an illusion.
the only metal you detect casting this spell is steel and iron. You do not detect any sort of precious metals. You also do not seemingly detect what appear to be any deceptions or illusions hiding the types of metal.
Okay, that's good for me.
Atlas, taking some initiative into your own paws as you you've been doing your rounds. You've been making friends out of everyone on the ship you come across so far. Taking this opportunity with being warned of this little gnome, making your way over to them, doing their best to befriend you. Their smile will light up after a minute or so. They will stop fiddling with whatever it is in their sleeve and begin scritching you behind the ears.
Excellent.
Seemingly just happy to have you there. If you want, Atlas, since you're right there, if you wanted to give me a perception check as she's sort of scratching behind your ears to try and side-eye what is in her sleeves, you're more than welcome to.
I would love to do so.
All right, yeah. Taking a look, her sleeves are pretty baggy. There's nothing really, they're not like cinched up at the wrist, so you can pretty easily see into them. You see what does look like the hilt of a blade at first. You can see the crossguard, you can even see it extends past, looks like a blade, but it also looks like there are almost spikes coming out to the side of it. And it's not very big in the first place. After a moment, you realize, while it is a blade per se, that is because it is the holy symbol of Iomedae as a charm around this girl's wrist.
Oh boy.
A sword with what appears to be a sun behind it.
Interesting.
It's just a holy symbol on her wrist.
Can I sense motive?
On the girl?
Yeah.
Sure.
See if she's like, I don't know, planning something.
Go for it.
Or she just happens to be here.
Taking a look.
Should have used the sense motive macro, sorry.
That's fine. Taking a look at her, observing her facial expression, looking for any signs of danger, you detect worry and what appears to be concern. She looks like she has a lot on her mind. She's scratching Atlas right now, but it's a very absent-minded scratching. She's not really paying attention to Atlas. She looks like she has a lot on her mind at the moment. She's maybe trying to process something, or alternatively, might be trying to steel herself mentally for something. But notably, Atlas, looking at her, you don't actually see any weapons on her person.
Okay.
She's got this holy symbol, but she does not actually carry any weapons.
Could be a mage.
Very well could be. She does not appear to be wearing armor, so that might lend credence to that.
Twisted cleric, maybe, too.
Certainly a possibility.
I'm just gonna keep my eyes on her, but
All right. Sort of keep an eye on her for the rest of the journey. Make sure she doesn't get up to anything.
I'll go back to kind of making the rounds and make
Sure.
sure everyone's aware of the weird woman. Oh, by everyone, I mean all of our group.
Right, I figured. Unless you really want to make everyone else on the ship aware of the child gnome with a hidden holy symbol of Iomedae.
Not right now.
Perhaps
As a child, I didn't get that.
We'll
part.
call it
Okay.
like Plan E.
very young looking, for sure. Maybe not exactly a child, but compared to your age, you would have probably only seen him as a child. At best, like late teens. Is there anything else people would like to try and do on this airship ride? Leela, Gamail, I don't believe either of you have really said anything specific you want to do, which is perfectly fine.
Is there?
Go ahead.
Is there anyone that looks like they could be from the area that we're going to?
Anyone who looks like they're from... go ahead and give me a perception check. Taking a look around the ship, you do find one individual who has very similar features, I would say, to your target. That sort of longer blonde hair, heavy clothes. They're very clearly prepared for the cold weather in a way that not many of the people on the airship actually are. He looks like he might be from the area.
Well, then I'll step up to him and start asking him questions. Like, do you go in to see family?
Yeah, as you step up to this individual, he doesn't appear to be wearing any armor, but does appear to have sort of a large axe that he keeps at his side. At the moment, he's probably eating his breakfast without much issue when you approach him. Oh, good morning. Sorry, could you repeat that question one more time for me?
Oh, of course, of course. Did you going to see family?
You could say that. Going to honor them, for sure. Passed away a few years ago, and I've been spending some time in the southern reaches, hunting, improving my strength, and now I figured I would head home and try and make a name for myself there.
Oh, while I'm doing this, let me try to gather some information.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and give me that diplomacy check.
Oof,
Blind, of course.
this ain't gonna be too good.
Ooh, what are you trying to gather information on?
Just seeing like how well he knows the, like if he's heard about like the rumors that a war might be breaking out, things like that.
No, unfortunately, I've kept myself relatively unapprised of information in regards to the North. Wanted to come home as a surprise to the few friends I had back there, and at the same time sort of wanted to be surprised by whatever may have changed.
Oh, okay. Well then, hopefully nothing is too out of place for you.
On the contrary, I sort of hope there's a lot out of place. It's one thing I learned in my years in the South. There's a lot to love about finding new things in places. So, that joy of exploring and experiencing the new hoping to continue experiencing it now that I'm heading home.
Well then, I won't keep you from finishing your food here.
Thank you. I've noticed your proclivity for drinks these last few days. Perhaps you'll join me for one later today.
Of course. I'll just go back and just wait around for the moment.
Sure.
Forgot I thought it was diplomacy. I thought it was society for some reason.
There's a feat that lets you use society instead of diplomacy to gather
Ah.
information. I believe it is streetwise. Allows
I thought
that, which you do have streetwise actually. So, actually, what is your society modifier?
Plus 25.
That changes your roll a lot. Oh. So that changes your roll to much better. That would actually have changed the information you got. My apologies. In that case, he would mention, I've heard about the problems that are breaking out there. There's people on edge. It's part of the reason I'm heading home, actually. One of my old friends reached out, was concerned for some of our people's safety, so I was heading back for a while, see if there's anything I could do to help.
Do you plan to fight? If I'll mention the guy's name as to
The Blade
That's-
Caller. If I fought him, I don't think I'd last more than 2 seconds. As much as I would like to believe myself strong, individuals like that with legends behind them, I have no faith in being able to take them down. Best I can do is ensure that my people are safe.
very well. Then perhaps we can try to meet up at some point once after we finish everything.
Oh, what are you heading this direction for?
Oh, just the usual treasure, the sense of adventure. I'll lie to it, like, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
With your diplomacy or with your gather information roll, do you have discreet inquiry by chance? I know some
I
people
do
already
not.
have it. Okay.
I 100% do not.
I'm not going to ask for an additional deception check here. I don't think it's really necessary. This guy isn't particularly suspicious of you in any meaningful way at the moment. That a deception check would really be needed. He's mostly just going to believe what you tell him, it looks like.
I'm here for work. That's not lying.
Yeah. Though that's sort of something that might lead to more questions.
Besides, I'll point to my axe and I'm like, you
Yeah.
understand how these can always lend a hand.
Aye, there's a couple new old tombs I've heard that have cropped up in the region these last years or two, and a number of people are looking to head north and either purify or explore them, so hopefully you'll manage to find something good.
I do too. Well then, I'll let you to it and finish your meal.
He'll respond, inviting you for a drink later again.
Yeah.
End the conversation the same.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, your roll was a 5 originally.
So
a
with
5
diplomacy,
to a
a 4.
31 is a lot different.
Oh, so I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6 minus 1, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, very different results. Yeah.
You were gonna do something, Lilo?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I forgot.
I can go then. What do you think? I'd like to recall knowledge on the target.
Sure, absolutely.
So recall knowledge. Where are you?
And is there anything you're specifically trying to figure out about them, or just general information?
Probably general information. Maybe what class they are. If that makes sense.
Sure. I suppose I could answer that if you roll well.
I do have religion master and society. I think those would be the things that apply.
Yes. Do you have any funny lore feats or recall knowledge feats I need to be aware of?
No, I think you can lie to me all you want if I roll the nat one.
Fantastic. I love being able to lie to people.
He's a druid.
I mean, his name is Blade Caller, but at the same time, he is a purportedly high-ranking member of Gorum's church. You personally haven't really heard of him before. Your areas of influence are pretty different for the most part. You guys haven't taken many jobs in this far north. You would probably imagine Magus, perhaps, potentially a war priest, but simply by the name of Blade Caller, there's something making you think Magus would be pretty logical for this guy.
Okay, so spellcaster.
Yeah, probably has magic of some sort. Maybe divine, maybe arcane. One of the two.
Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to do is make some money.
You want to try and earn income from these people?
Yeah, I'm a doctor. I can offer my services if anyone's ailing.
There's not really a lot of injuries that need... you know what? I'd say you could use earn income with medicine if you were mostly looking to, especially with the people like looking to go troll hunting, if you wanted to sort of preemptively prescribe some recommendations of elixirs and potions they should look at picking up in advance. Your earn income level is going to be 3 for this, because these people are not very high level.
That's fine.
But you are certainly welcome to do around 12 days of earn income.
Not downtime.
There's a specific macro for it. Shouldn't be in the basic action macros, I don't think.
Just a medicine check then?
You can either do that, or if you wanted to go grab the macro, if you pop on over to the compendium packs in Foundry and just search earn income, you want the macro that looks like a stack of gold coins.
Okay.
Because that'll tell you just how much you earn directly. Not make me have to pull out my books.
Dassan said level 3.
Yeah, that's the highest level adventurer on this ship.
How long are we on this ship?
You've got 12 days. You could spend earning some money here.
Alright. There we go. Healer's gloves, that's fine.
Yeah, because those are just a flat bonus to your medicine checks. Nice. If you didn't crit succeed, I was going to be concerned. So you can go ahead and give yourself 9 gold, 6 silver for those 12 days. You sort of preemptively let people know what they should focus on picking up before they head out of Trollheim, past just the general elixirs and healing potions. You've got ideas of things that'll help protect them from the cold weather, things that will make actually trekking above the snow a lot easier for them, letting them know what they should search for. A lot of them are pretty thankful and will give you some coin for your information, since that is valuable knowledge.
Yeah, that's it for me for the trip.
Sounds good. Then,
So that gnome looks suspicious, right?
slightly, yeah. Atlas, would you have let the group know that
Yes.
what they had was a holy symbol of Iomade?
Yes.
Yeah, they fidget with it pretty frequently over the journey. They don't really talk to people. They're mostly just keeping to themselves.
Is there any way I could do this to her?
Never mind. Oh no.
You could. It's gonna be hard to do that without anyone noticing, but I would allow you to try if you wanted to.
Could I be a distraction?
I would allow you to aid in distracting, yes. So that would be a deception check from you to aid, and then a deception check from you, Memento, if you wanted to try that.
Yeah, I just want to be off the safe side since she's Amade and Holy. Just be on the safe side. We're not necessarily, good friends or anything.
Yeah. Then Atlas, go ahead and roll that public to see what bonus Memento is getting, and then Memento, your deception check will be blind.
I'm just a dog.
That is a +3 circumstance bonus to your roll, Memento.
This is my favorite
And
I've ever played.
and does my ventriloquist ring come into effect as well?
Does that... What bonus is that giving you?
I think it's a +2 item bonus.
Yeah, you will get that. Congratulations. You have taken a fledgling divine sorcerer and reduced their intelligence to below that of an animal on the course of this journey. As you sort of, with Atlas getting the attention of some nearby people, you go over near this gnome and just quickly cast the magic in front of them, doing your best to make sure no one else notices. Her eyes turn glassy. Her hand kind of drops from holding the holy symbol kept hidden in her clothes, and she just starts to stare dumbly out the window for the rest of the journey.
Was that really that necessary?
Just in case, again, you can't be too careful with Amade worshippers.
Stupefy 4 forever. The critical failure. Oh no.
It's a curse, so somebody can break it.
That's permanent.
You think this level 1 sorcerer is going to have enough money to pay someone to break a 6th rank curse?
I honestly thought she was higher level than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first ever truly evil act in a campaign.
Congratulations, that unholy
Yeah, glad you guys-
sanctification really coming in.
Glad you guys were here for this.
We for sure know what side you're on.
Yeah.
All right. Leela, was there anything you wished to do during this journey?
Just keep to the background, watching things, seeing if people let drop any important information, but
Sure.
they'll mostly keep to the background.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to give me a gather information roll, or were you just mostly keeping to the back?
Mostly keeping to the back. I don't have a good gather information.
That's fair. All right. Well, then the 12 days of this travel are going to pass by in the blink of an eye, getting you guys to Trollheim late evening on the 30th day of Abadius. And I think from there, as your airship begins to touch down into the airship landing of the city, the people begin to get off. The gnome sort of straggling at the back, still glassy-eyed, still not really paying attention to their surroundings very much. No one really paid attention. They don't necessarily seem to be acting super differently since no one really interacted with them on the journey. And as you all alight from the airship as well, that's where we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. So stand up, stretch, grab some water, do what you need to do, and I'll see you all in 5 minutes or so. All right, welcome back, everyone. So, as your airship alights late evening into the city of Trollheim, which, quite frankly, isn't a very big city per se. It's right around the same size as Riddleport, population of around 12,000 perhaps. It is the capital of the region of Hagreach here in the land of the Linorm Kings. What would you all like to do? Would you like to...
First,
Oh, yes.
first talk to the guy.
Oh, yes. Who you would come to know, his name is Eric Skysworn.
Do you mind just watching over that child over there? She seems a little bit off and may need some help.
Certainly, I'm happy to do so. I tried speaking with her a few days ago, and she sort of brushed me off, but I'm happy to keep an eye on her.
I'll definitely come back to check up to see how well she's doing.
What is remove curse called now?
Cleanse Affliction at 4th rank can remove a curse, I believe.
But it probably had to counteract my
Yes.
caster level, which is 7th rank right now.
It would counteract the rank of the spell you cast, so it would have to counteract 6th rank.
6th rank. Okay.
Which could be done on a crit success if you cast Cleanse Affliction at 4th rank. If you cast it at 5th rank, I believe you'd only need a regular success to actually counteract it.
I'm just looking at how much. So it'd be 40 gold.
You're looking at getting a scroll of it.
Well, just to pay for someone to cast it on her.
Hmm.
Because the scroll
Not
will
me.
have a shitty DC probably.
Scrolls
have
use the
40
caster's DC.
I don't have trick magic item.
Ah, well, that's a shame.
I do.
It is Divine, Occult, and Primal, so anyone who has the Red Mantis archetype and one of its spellcasting feats would have the ability to cast it.
Even I.
Does it look like anyone might be waiting for her?
Give me a perception check. And how mean do I want to be?
The whole family.
The whole
One
tribe.
lost lover.
Taking a look around Gamel as everyone is sort of getting off the ship, it doesn't really look like there's anyone sort of waiting at the airship landing for anyone in the party. The girl just begins sort of wandering off, sort of following everyone out of the, docking area and into the city proper where they begin splitting up. She just begins sort of wandering in a direction.
Well, hopefully that guy will look after her, I guess. I don't know what to do about this.
Just let it happen.
Does anyone even have 40 gold on them?
Yeah.
Look at you, Miss Wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe across the party, you guys have a little over 400 gold in liquid coin at the moment. As you make your way into the city proper, Trollheim is a pretty solid settlement, and I think that's a really good word to describe it. Solid. It is very sort of stocky and condensed with the streets together. There is an outer wall to protect from the beasts and monsters that live out in the wilderness of the lands. It's pretty rugged. Most of the buildings are utilitarian in nature. There is a hefty amount of smoke coming out of the various chimneys and hearths of both the taverns and homesteads in the city, and even the stores, just keeping everything relatively warm from the biting cold. Primary architecture is reinforced stone and heavy timbers. Streets themselves are narrow and winding, meandering through the buildings and all sort of leading up to the central keep of the city, where the current leader resides. Should be Castellan dark wine at the moment. But what would you all like to do, having a lit from the airship and making your way into the city? You'll probably need to, at some point at least, gather some information about your target and where they can be found. From there, you'd probably want to rent some horses to actually get towards them. But all of that you may wish to do after finding a place to rest for the evening, as it's around 7:45 in the evening by the time you guys get into the streets themselves.
And definitely find a place to rest.
Absolutely.
Off the keyboard.
Yeah, taking a look around, are you looking for like somewhere nice, somewhere more run down, somewhere sort of hidden away from anything else, or are you just looking for the first place you notice?
I'm looking for a place that has nice food.
Nice food, okay. I think that can be arranged. Let's see. Go ahead and just give me, anyone who wants to look for a place to stay here, go ahead and give me just a general society check. This can be public. Or if you think you have a good requisite lore, I would accept that as well.
Could I use underworld lore?
If you're looking for like a seedier inn that is home to the sort of underground elements of society, I would say underworld lore would work perfectly for this.
Yeah, more in my element.
Nice.
Okay. There's... oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna use a hero point.
Oh, by all means. A classic hero point moment. Go ahead and grab that hero point back. Taking a look around, in a quick amount of time, it's not the easiest to find those sort of seedier taverns that cater to your preferred presence, but generally, Philippos and Gamale was, as the two best rollers, was there anything in particular the two of you were looking for in a tavern? Or inn, I should say.
One that can accommodate one of my size.
One that can accommodate large creatures, got it?
Yeah, and a room at the end of a hall.
Sure. Yeah, there are two that meet your requirements. Do you want something that's more upscale or more rustic?
More rustic for me.
Then it doesn't take long. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Rustic is fine.
It doesn't take you long asking a few people around to find your way to the Iron Horn Inn, then. one of the many two-story buildings here in Trollheim. Sturdy wooden beams. The doors themselves are actually reinforced iron, which is pretty unique for many of the buildings in this area. But as you enter, the heat of the hearth washes over you all. There is a large sort of opened hearth where the cooking is done, it looks like, behind the bar, letting the heat sort of flood into the common area. There are a lot of people of varying ancestries. Most of them appear to be relatively well equipped as they sit at the tables, talk, drink. There is music filling the air. It does appear to be a place primarily for adventuring folk. The walls themselves are adorned with a large number of hunting trophies, namely what appear to be worms, trolls. There is a minotaur head, but it's not yours, Philippos, so... But it looks to be a pretty busy establishment, but as you make your way over to the bar, they are able to confirm that there are some rooms available. There is a suite at the end of the hall that should fit your guys' entire group in there, especially because they don't really count a bed for the dog. So, you know, they see Minotaur, they see Automaton, they see Vishkanya, which looks human to them, and a halfling, and they go, yeah, we've got a suite with 4 beds. One of them has a larger bed, typically meant for couples in it, but should fit your frame there, sir.
Thank you.
We do not wish to be disturbed.
Don't wish to be disturbed, that can be arranged. So, no wake-up call or anything in the morning?
No.
All right. That can make sure of that.
And I'll front the bill for this. What is it?
Sure. Looking for a large suite like this. Bill's not going to be anything too heavy. Are you looking for meals, drinks with the accommodations also, or just accommodation for the night?
Just accommodations.
Just accommodations? Sure thing. That is going to be... I flip through my basic services. For that room, you're looking at... $8 gold pieces, sir.
Oh.
Do you not have enough?
No, I have enough. But that's like my entire.
It's
Well,
half your
Okay,
coin.
so before we do this, would this work in this situation? Try to haggle?
Is that what they call it these days?
It has a subtle trait.
It does indeed. What price are you suggesting for the room?
How much is it? 8 right now?
It's 8 gold right now, yes, for effectively their suite.
I would say a reasonable 5.
Reasonable 5. I think we could do 5 gold. You're only staying for one night. No meals or anything. 5 gold does sound reasonable for that.
All right, I will pay him 5 gold.
Cheapskates.
Enjoy your rest for the evening, as he's got 2 keys for the room, and he'll hand them both over to your group, to whoever takes them. It's just up the stairs there, down the hall. And have a
Take
good
the-
rest.
Take the key from him, turn around, regard everybody, and be like, "Oh, yeah, get your own food. Sorry."
Mhm.
Okay, I don't need.
Two of your
Yeah,
number don't need to
I
eat.
didn't look at Atlas when I said that, but
You're gonna play a dog who
I
doesn't pretend to eat everything?
I mean, I'll take the treats. Listen, don't put words in my mouth.
I'll just abuse my powers to get food.
You're the reason mages have a bad name.
Mhm.
You are the
I
entire
know.
reason.
Just you.
It is so much fun.
so enter the room and do my stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mirror ball, marking snares.
Anything else anyone would like to do in particular, aside from grabbing food if they need it? Or do you guys just
Mhm.
want to rest for the evening?
I just do my prayers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll pray tonight. After eating food.
I'll pray before
Actually,
food.
during my prayers, I would like to cast a spell.
Oh,
I'd like to cast augury.
interesting.
Never,
Okay.
never mind. That only works up to 30 minutes in the future. Just kidding.
Is it a good idea to go to sleep now?
You know what? Use it or lose it.
And you're not casting this from an item. This is just you're casting the spell?
Spell slot.
Perfect. Fantastic. And what is your question? What course of action are you considering in the next 30 minutes?
Is this a safe time and place to go to bed? To take a long rest, I should say.
This augury does seem to create a good outcome.
Excellent. He who walks in blood has blessed our rest this night.
Right on.
A little bit of blood that bubbles up between the floorboards. Nice and warm.
Ah, tasty.
You just say tasty?
Yes.
You people need help.
Your bed will be
We have
perfectly
them.
comfy.
I can check so.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, you all are free to go ahead and take your long rest here. Nothing is going to happen in the midst of the night. As you all wake up early, anyone who needs food heads down and grabs breakfast. You have the day ahead of you to do whatever it is you would like to do. Gather information, get on the road, buy things, kill some people. Who am I to judge?
Mhm.
Curse more children. Or teenagers, I guess.
She would just stay there so righteously.
Let's see. Do I have winter clothing?
She was nervous about heading out on her very first adventure.
Apparently, for good reason.
All right.
Right? You never know who you're going to come across.
What's the weather like?
Cold.
Cold. Okay.
Yeah. If you
Then
do
I
not
usually-
have winter clothing, you're probably going to want to pick some up or be able to cast environmental endurance.
I have that if one person needs it. I can prepare it in the morning.
I'll just buy some clothes. I got the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cold weather clothes are pretty cheap.
Yeah.
4 silver for a set of them.
I would like to crack my lottery. You know those like little fortune cookies for the day that have like the the little lottery numbers in them.
Is that what your spell is?
Yes.
You just got a bucket of fortune cookies you carry with you.
Yes. My lucky number is 7.
All right. So yeah, you've got your lucky number of 7 for the day. So if you roll a 7 again, or if you roll a 7 at any point on a non-secret attack save or skill check, you can reaction re-roll it. I do love it has the flavor though that if you roll the same number on it, it auto crit fails. That's my favorite part about lucky number.
But I'm gonna do that though. Hold on. This is useless.
Welcome to my games. That is absolutely gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
It's the funniest part of lucky number to me.
That's great. I've never seen that before.
Because everyone always forgets what their lucky number was.
Yeah.
Don't forget to actually grab the effect on yourself for it. So you can try and remember.
Let's cover this dog in squares.
When you actually put the effect on yourself, it rolls for it. So, and then when you look at the effect, it has a little number there.
Well, I'll use that one instead.
Not a 7, a 6.
Even better.
Even better to want to reroll. All right. Anyone else have things they would like to do?
No, I just want to what your clothing. I mean,
if allowed, could I use assassin lore to see if the residents have some more information about our mark?
Sure, yeah, I'll allow assassin lore to replace diplomacy for gather information here. I think that's pretty fitting. All right. Is there any specific information you're trying to get about?
Strengths and weaknesses.
Strengths and weaknesses about General Ordulf. You're able to find some people. It's hard to necessarily find anyone who knows about his weaknesses, but as for his strengths, you do find a couple people who sort of mention where the byname Blade Caller seems to come from. The rumors come apparently from his very intimidating nature. He has a seemingly noteworthy tendency to win conflict through insult alone, even before he has to draw a blade. Many apparently say that his words cut as deep as any sword or axe.
Good
in
to
a
know.
literal sense. Like, there are many rumors about literal. That his words are actually able to cause physical harm to people.
So I'm gonna chalk that up to either probably like some sonic magic.
Yeah, that could definitely be a great knowledge. That would probably fall in with what Philippos gathered.
But that's it for me.
All right. What about anyone else? Remember, you do need to figure out where he is.
mm-hmm.
I'll ask around on how to join his group.
How to join his group? You want to ask the people he's planning to go to war with how to join his group.
Oh, okay. I thought we were in a different spot.
You are in Trollheim, which is the place that he is seemingly going to be besieging in the future. This is the region he wants to take over. And you are in its capital city.
Then I will ask on where, if people might know where he would like to reside, or like just general.
Where's his army camped?
Yeah, absolutely. Then that's gather information. You have streetwise, so you can just roll blind society. Yeah, asking around about the Blade Caller, where he and his are currently residing. It's not particularly difficult information to find. From what you are able to learn, he has recently taken over a ancient dwarven fortress in the foothills of Stormspear Mountains, which has since been renamed to Crownhold. It is his seat of power. He apparently took it over after single-handedly slaughtering a clan of Adlets who were previously in residence in the fortress. And from what you're able to learn on top of that, the closest settlement to Crownhold would be a small trading post named Glacier's Rest, which is about 170 miles north of here.
Okay. Perhaps do you know the best way to get there?
If you're looking to get up there, then we can just pick up some horses. They're hardy enough to make the trek. Probably the quickest way to get up that sort of way.
And they won't be bothered by the snow?
Shouldn't be. As long as you're careful, you shouldn't have to worry about them making any issues.
Okay. Definitely appreciate the information.
Certainly. Why are you looking for information on that sort of place anyways? Not many people want to know where they're from.
Let's just say that we are on your side about the side. But what may come may not. Who knows? I'll try to deceive.
Sure. The gruff gentleman you're talking to sort of raises an eyebrow. Well, suppose it don't really matter what you're planning to do with that information. It's not really the best vacationing spot to go to this time of year, so you be careful out there.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else looking for information or anything in particular they would like to do?
My character's not good at this stuff, so
Yeah.
It seems like he just got a good lead. So
Yeah?
I'm a fighter. I don't have skills.
I will say, you guys, once Filippo shares this with everyone, I can't speak. You do know that the closest settlement that you'll probably be heading to act as a base, I would imagine, is called Glacier's Rest. If any of you wanted to roll either gather information or a recall knowledge check about Glacier's Rest, which would be society, you're more than welcome to.
Can I roll scouting lore for that?
Sure. Yeah. thinking on that area, it's up at the far north of the land of the Lenormand Kings, foothills of the Stormsphere Mountains, and also just doing some general asking around. Shut up, alarm. Sorry about that. There are a few small tidbits of information you get about the area. It's Glacier's Rest is a relatively large but remote town, it seems. Maybe a population of a little under 2,000 people there. And should probably make for an excellent place to, at the very least, begin the work of planning your assassination. You would be aware, just from asking around, that the best sort of tavern and inn to look for there is called the Frosty Stein, and its proprietor is named Gundar Icebreaker. And yeah, you would learn quite a bit about a couple information. One of the other locations that's pretty neat there is called the Hatchet and Barrel. Previously a high-class hunting lodge and tavern, but has more so turned into a more run-down and shady inn over the years. That is where you'll tend to find the rowdiest patrons in the town. Weekly brawls at the very least. That is a place you would really only be able to get poor meals. The lodging would only be floor space, but if you're looking for where the malcontents of the town go, that would be where to look. And if you're looking for the last bit of information you would understand, or place you would know about, would be the warehouse there. Specifically, a warehouse for Crownhold. It seems that Ordulf gets quite a bit of supplies shipped to his seat of power through various merchant companies, and a lot of them will deposit their goods at a warehouse in Glacier's Rest before they are then bound for Crownhold as large deliveries, perhaps once a week or so.
Yeah, I'll make sure to relay that information.
All right.
Could I possibly roll a religion check to gauge the religion of these settlements? Like which one's more prominent?
Sure. Are you asking about, like, Glacier's Rest or here in Trollheim?
Both if possible. But more so the area we're going to.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that religion check. And this can be public, that's fine.
I'm going to hero point that.
Go for it.
Well,
that is a classic hero point. Don't regain it, because this wasn't a super low DC. Specifically about Glacier's Rest, it seems that the most prominent religion there is a worship of Gorum, from what you're able to find. Whether that is due to just their general proclivity, Gorum is pretty well worshipped, it seems, in the lands of the Lenormand Kings, or if there is an influence because of Ordulf living in that region, you're not entirely certain. But it does seem that the majority of the populace up there worship Gorum.
good to know. In that case, I am going to use my staff to cast disguise magic on my tattoo.
Sure.
I can't put it as a chat, but a caster using detect magic or read aura of a higher rank than disguise magic can attempt to disbelieve the illusion using the skill matching the tradition of the spell.
And
Arcane
what rank are
religion.
you casting it at?
With my staff, I believe.
By the way, every time you, when you take a long rest, that little teacup or coffee cup button next to your long rest button, that's your daily prep button. And if you click that and go through it, that'll actually add your staff spells to your activation tab of your spellcasting page. If you want to actually
Oh,
be able
really?
to cast from there. Yeah. Fun little module we use. And so that'll keep track of your charges, and you can cast from there. And so that's got Disguise Magic at 2nd rank. Cool. Should I pretty much just be assuming that from this point forward you're going to be casting that daily?
Yes, to conceal my
Sounds good.
affiliation.
Yeah, absolutely. You are more than welcome to go ahead and do that. And does anyone else have anything they would like to do?
I'm just looking at everyone's speeds. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who are faster than horses that
I-
aren't galloping.
I think I'm one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you can fly faster than a horse can run. So
The lowest movement speed in the party is 25, which is what you would be limited to. So some of you may wish to rent a horse.
I need like at least 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, I think
Automaton buddy.
Gamel and Memento would be the only 2 who actually need to rent a horse here, or just purchase one. Because Atlas, you can cast Tailwind twice a day, correct?
Yeah.
Just ensure you've always got it up.
Yeah.
Then yeah, the 2 of you are able to hit 40 feet, which is just fine. So yeah, only Memento and Gamel would need a horse if they wanted to keep pace. Which, if you're looking to rent one, it's a silver a day, but you'll have to specify how many days you're renting for.
Isn't there a summon steed spell?
There is, if you really want it. If you just want to buy a horse, it's 8 gold for a horse.
Marvelous mount. We're trying to hit what, 40? What's the duration? Yeah, I can just prep marvelous mounts for 8 hours a day.
Keep in mind, you have to prep it twice per person.
That's fine.
Yeah, if
I
you
don't
wanted to,
know how many we need.
you would effectively need 4 castings a day of it.
Okay.
So yeah, you could effectively dump your 2nd and 3rd rank spells for the next 5 days or so, and that would get you guys there in about 4.25 days.
Sounds good. Buying a horse is just a no-go.
We love high-level play when you don't need to worry about purchasing horses or anything like that. You can just summon what you need. All right. Any last things you guys would like to get done in Trollheim, or is the journey to Glacier's Rest starting today?
Do they have like a potion shop?
For only the finest potions here. Absolutely. What sort of potions are you looking for, sir?
Strongest potion.
The strongest potions?
And probably some elixir of life.
Yeah, Trollheim here is a level What level is the settlement for Trollheim? Give me half a moment here to check. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Yeah, it's around a, we'll say 13th level settlement, so you could purchase any item of 13th level or lower here that you're looking for. What sort of potions are you looking for?
Just elixirs of life.
Oh, good old elixirs of life. Yeah, absolutely. Prices are all going to be their base, so you could get up to a greater version, which costs 600 gold. None of you can afford that. Moderate versions are 150, lesser versions are 30. And if you get a minor one, I'm judging you. 1d6 hit points at level 14 is not a lot. I might not judge Memento if they bought a minor one because of their HP pool.
I'll just say healer's gloves.
At
Oh,
this
80
rate, people
gold.
may not
Yep.
remember me.
Yes, regular healer's gloves are 80 gold.
Just gonna buy one. So,
Do you not have any gloves right now?
I don't think so.
Oh, hot damn, look at that. You're
Nope.
not at max investments either. Look at you go.
I am now.
No, you're
Actually,
not.
no, I'm not.
You
I
have
got the
incredible investiture.
Woohoo.
We love 12 investment slots. Alright, so you've got the medicine buff, but more specifically that once per day 2d6 plus 7 healing.
Yep.
You have a once per day, not
Get
quite
up right
moderate
now.
elixir of life. A once per day healing word.
Mhm.
With touch
We'll take
range.
it. We take those.
Alright. Just in case Gamail goes down.
Yes.
You
I
guys
can
aren't
Camille
screwed.
back up.
Might be important. Alright. Any other purchases, any other preparations you guys would like to do before heading out?
No, I think I got everything.
Yeah, I made sure to get my spells prepared, so
Awesome.
going for that.
The Minotaur wear metal armor.
Yeah.
Would he like a magnetic suit?
We will have to leave that to him to decide once he returns. I feel like if it's strapped over his armor, it would probably obfuscate its ability to blend into the surroundings, if I'm being entirely honest.
Hmm.
Because if you put a metal plate over camouflage, it kind of ruins the camouflage effect.
Oh, does he have the camo armor?
Yeah, he's got the subterfuge suit and the optical camo, so he can hide if he doesn't have cover.
He's a walking nightmare.
He's a walking, flying, climbing, swimming nightmare.
Yeah.
Fucker has
No
a
worries,
50-foot swim speed. 45-foot land and fly speed.
It's like, sure, Alice can outrun a horse. He can outswim a dolphin.
Philippos is my nightmare. Solid beef.
I love that if he turns invisible, it makes people scared.
That's one of my favorite feats in the game. It's such a funny feat. It's so funny. Alright. If there's nothing further you guys would like to do, you are free to just get on the road and get traveling. Alright.
We ride.
Who wants the horse that can walk in the water and who doesn't?
It's not particularly gonna matter,
No, but
but it's funny.
I get to the can and to the can't.
You could give them no walking on water in the morning and then walking on water in the afternoon.
There you go.
Alright.
You mind having my construct ride with you?
I mean, I'm not riding the horse. I'm just summoning them.
Oh, it's not Memento that's summoning.
No, it's Atlas that's doing the summoning.
Okay.
Just have Filippo's kill your or carry your construct.
Yeah, he is really strong, right?
He could do it.
Yeah, I'll carry it.
Alrighty.
Why does your construct have a +7 to their strength modifier? Holy shit!
Because I have
I forgot incredible
Paragon,
construct.
Companion, and Incredible
Ugh.
Construct. And Advanced Construct.
Scary.
And Lock On.
Oh, you've got lock on? Uh-oh.
10.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's horrifying.
That's why he's called Killer.
And he can Megaton Strike.
KI 113R. Yep.
Can all of our inventors Megaton Strike? I think so.
No.
You can't Megaton Strike?
Nope, I did not take it.
Oh, interesting.
I took something else.
Oh, you have Vicious Swing. That's the same fucking thing.
No, I also took Scout's Pounce.
Oh joy. All right. Well, if there is nothing in particular you all would like to do on the journey, I'm mostly going to skip over it per se, except for one small thing. I'm going to ask everyone to roll a d20 for me, please. Just to see how awful the weather gets on your journey. All right. As you guys set off, the snow is falling pretty gently. However, over the next few days of travel, the snowfall definitely begins to pick up, becoming heavier and heavier, flurries blocking out your vision. The cold weather gear you have, not always quite enough. The cold sapping at your strength, making you much more fatigued than normal, but nothing that'll prevent you from pushing through the mild damage of the cold that would apply to you. Nothing you ever really have to worry about at your strength. You're taking like 2d6 damage an hour, so nothing you really ever have to worry about as you're traveling, and also not enough to slow you down. The blizzard lasts for about a day and a half in the middle of your journey. And a few days go by, and a little after noon, on the 4th day of Callistril, an icy wind sort of blows across the open tundra south of the town of Glacier's Rest as you approach. The town itself crouching atop an upthrust escarpment of stone, looming 100 feet above the surrounding plains. To the north of it, you can see the formidable Stormspear Mountain standing, a treacherous-looking trail consisting of what look to be 3 switchbacks ascending the ridge to the town from the trade road that winds into the distance to the east and west. The town itself appears bordered by further defenses. Palisades of pine that block the frigid winds, deny townsfolk a view of the southern tundra from which you approach, further accenting the dominance of the mountains to the north. You can see clusters of log cabins, alehouses, trading posts, storehouses, all huddled together around a massive longhouse. Ribbons of smoke reaching to the sky through holes on either end of the town's largest buildings. a single track seems to wind out of the northern end of the town into the mountains themselves. The really only indication that this remote settlement is not the last bastion against the frozen wilderness to the north. As you all approach, make your way into the town of Glacier's Rest. It appears to be relatively busy in the middle of the day here. There are a number of what appear to be wagons and other horses and merchants milling about. It seems that there is a pretty large trade caravan in town at the moment, which should offer a pretty solid disguise for you all to do some investigation and planning under their cover without being strangers in a strange location. So, as you all enter the town itself and take some time to rest, get your bearings, ask a few questions about the situation, I want to go over a few things. This is beginning the infiltration focus of this first event, of your assassination of General Ordulf Bladecaller. Until this merchant caravan leaves is a really solid time for you all to make some preparations, whether that would be tools, discovering secrets, orchestrating distractions, observing Crownhold itself. All of those are options. I am happy to let you guys know the available preparation activities, or if you would like to let me know what it is you would like to do, and we'll just go from there, that is okay as well. But it's pretty easy to find out, if you would like, that this trading caravan is leaving in about 2 days. So you guys probably could each partake in maybe about 4 total of these preparation activities in order to best prepare yourselves for the infiltration. You could continue to prepare after that. However, doing so may begin to raise awareness, as this is a relatively remote area, and not being able to disguise yourselves as affiliated with the trade caravan and continuing to stick around will probably make people suspicious at that point.
And what are the lists?
Of your potential preparation activities?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put the ones in Discord that you guys have access to now. Doing some things might give you the opportunity to do other things, but the basic things you can do would be prepare tools. You could try and discover any of Ordulf's secrets. You could try and discover any of Crownhold's secrets. If I could type properly, that would be nice. You could orchestrate a timely distraction if you want to try and grab or create an event primed to occur during your infiltration, whether that's something like an explosion, a fire, some other crisis. You could generally just approach Crownhold itself, which would be what you need to do if you want to take time to observe it or anything like that. Those are going to be the main potential preparation activities you guys can go ahead and work on during this time. But if you have other ideas for things you would like to do, let me know. We'll absolutely try and work it out.
I for sure will approach Crown.
I figure with myself and survival, I can do that really well.
You guys can also spend time, if you would like, just chatting with the townsfolk, seeing what you can find out. That would generally be like the discover options, but if you also just want to learn more about the town, I'm happy to provide some information for you guys, because I do have notes on the town proper.
What are the kind of skill checks for the discover stuff?
Oh my goodness. Diplomacy, intimidation, society. For discovering Ordal's secrets, Gorum lore and warfare lore would both be good options. If you're looking for Crownhold secrets, because it is a dwarven fortress, dwarven lore would be really effective for that as well.
I did on the
And
last
engineering lore.
day of our travels. I changed up my spells, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. You would know when you're going to be arriving pretty much, so that'd be easy enough to make sure your spells are ready for the day you get there. Preparing tools is crafting focused, and instead of describing what the tool is now, if you succeed, you'll effectively have the tool prepared, and then when you find a point that you would want a tool, will sort of flash back to what the actual tool is that you're making. So you don't have to specify now what the tool is, you just say, I'm preparing a tool that will come in useful.
So it's like prescient planner or something.
Kind of, yeah.
I know for both days that the caravan's here, I'll be casting that.
Your Veil of Privacy?
Yep.
Sure. And you casted blind, so I'll just make it public so everyone can see it.
Yeah, I realized I could just press control and
Yep, that will
press
make
stuff.
anything blind.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. Fun little toggle from the workbench module.
Mhm.
I assume you are making yourself hard to detect via magic?
Yes.
Okay. So that attempts to counteract all detection, revelation, scrying effects used against you or your gear. Nice. Alright.
Has
I like how it
anyone,
specifies that cantrips are always count as first rank spells for that purpose. That's just rude.
Has his army seen battle yet?
His army?
Yeah. Or are they preparing for a big battle?
They have definitely fought before. From what you're aware of, they are preparing for war, it seems, against Trollheim and Hagreach to take it over. But you don't exactly know what all battles they may have fought up until this point.
And throughout both days, I'll also cast share lore with
Hey, good old
my
share lore.
teams.
Alright, that does only last for about 10 minutes, so it's
So
not...
it's tied into 5th level.
Oh, you're casting at 5th rank. Hey, 8 hours. We love that.
Hmm.
Then yeah, its casting will effectively last for one set of the preparation activities. Since you can do 2 a day, each one is about 8 hours or so of work.
Okay.
So yeah, for either... I mean, you could even prep it twice each day if you wanted to, since you know you are mostly just preparing right now to make sure everyone's got it at all times.
Sure, sounds good to me.
All right.
Could we use engineering lore to discover Crownhold secrets?
Yeah, that's gonna fall under more the unspecific lore, so it'll be slightly better than using diplomacy, intimidation, or society. Not quite as good as dwarven lore, but I would absolutely allow engineering lore.
Okay. That's probably what I'll do then.
I would also say engineering lore would be very useful if you manage to approach Crownhold to observe it. Atlas, I know you were stepped away. You guys have arrived at Glacier's Rest. You've got...
I could hear you the whole time.
Oh, perfect. Then forget me repeating things.
I think I want to approach and use engineering lore.
Okay.
If I can approach stealthily, that is.
Yeah, approaching is pretty much going to be stealth or scouting lore. And if you used spells or other abilities to make yourself invisible, or some other, keep in mind, any like magical aid you can use on things will potentially, at the very least, adjust your degree of success. So when you're like approaching, if you can go invisible for a period of time, that'll pretty much improve your rolled result.
What about like a translocate
That would also work for that.
to just like get right up against the wall?
Oh wait,
Yeah.
question.
Crownhold itself is about 5 miles away from Glacier's Rest. That's easy information to find just asking some people.
What if I cast Scouting Eye?
You could. I would allow Scouting Eye to allow you to observe Crownhold without having to successfully approach it, since it'll take a while to cast and slowly move there.
I'm just gonna approach it. So.
Well, let's
I'll
go
just
ahead.
use my stealth of 27.
Well, what I'm going to say, let's go ahead and go over what the first round of preparation everyone's going to do, just in order, what people want to do.
Approach.
All right. Yeah, I'm just going to go down the order that is in Foundry. So, Filipos, you wish to approach Crownhold?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and give me either stealth or scouting lore. Do you have a way of becoming invisible or other similar magical aid you would like to make use of for this?
Just my suit. That's it. Like I'm
Sure.
not gonna cast invisibility, but
Okay, you're just going to use your camouflage pigmentation?
yeah,
All right, absolutely.
I can.
Go ahead and give me either stealth or scouting lore, and this is a blind check. Secret check, technically, but
And I'll be flying.
okay. You managed to easily get there without being detected. Absolutely no issue in approaching. You do notice as you are going that there are what appear to be a number of patrols in the region, both ground and flying patrols.
Interesting.
But with that roll, you do well enough that you'll get a +2 circumstance bonus if your next activity is to observe Crownhold.
Why, yes, it will be.
All right, Atlas, what are you doing with your first preparation time?
Scouting Eye.
And that's to observe Crownhold?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually cast it.
Then I'm going to ask for a perception, stealth, or survival check, or if you think you've got a good lore skill, such as engineering lore here.
Blind.
Yes, please. This is a secret check.
Blind is general. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. Spending some time moving the scouting eye very slowly towards Crownhold. I kind of want to do the math at some point. There's no limit on how long it can be sustained, funny enough.
10 minutes.
Oh, it can only be sustained 10 minutes?
You can only sustain any spell 10 minutes.
I'm not sure you could get it 5 miles to Crownhold in 10 minutes.
Oh, it's 5 miles.
It's 5 miles away from Glacier's Rest. That's my bad.
Okay, maybe I sneak closer and then throw that up in the air.
Yeah. I will allow that to give a bonus then for the actual observing instead of just negating it. My apology. I forgot that sustaining had a maximum limit no matter what spell. Then just approaching it is stealth or scouting.
Why am I clumsy one? Stop over encumbering me.
Stop crafting things of such high bulk.
Metal heavy.
Or just throw it into a...
Yeah.
Get someone to buy you a bag of a spacious pouch and throw that shit in there.
You can't teleport with spacious pouches, and it's really fucking annoying.
I tend to ignore that because it's dumb.
It's a little dumb.
I'll point it out because it's always funny to point out, but I would typically say no to it for things like heists because I want you guys to come up with creative solutions, but just in general movement purposes, I'm not going to deny you all the ability to teleport with your spacious pouches, because it's such an important item for carrying things.
And blind stealth check. Also not getting my item bonus to stealth rolls from my shadow rune.
That's a shame. It's because armor runes suck in Foundry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy enough for you to do as well, especially using your invisibility at any point where it might be necessary. You just sneak closer with Philippos without any issue. The two of you both managed to get pretty much right up to Crownhold proper to get a good view of it without any sort of issue. And you will also gain your +2 circumstance bonus if your next action is to observe it.
Yes.
Memento, what would you like to do with your first infiltration preparation activity?
Well, if I can, I would like to use my Eye of the Unseen.
Mhm.
And so it gives me to see the unseen.
Yep.
And I would like to look through my telescope and see if I notice anything out of the ordinary.
I don't think that's going to quite work for observing Crownhold. Because you are mostly only doing it from the one vantage point a couple miles away at that point. I will allow you to try that if you want. I am going to raise the DC, though.
That's fun. How do I put the... Is it effect on me? No. Let me check.
No, you just drag it onto onto your token.
There we go.
Perfect.
And... Alright, so with my fine spyglass, it does give me the item bonus to notice details at a distance. Okay.
Yes, which is the same as Eye of the Unseen gives you an item bonus to all visual perception checks. So they will not stack with each other, unfortunately.
Oh no, I just wanted to use the unseen thing.
Yep, that is A-okay. And your spyglass does allow you to see further than normal.
And would that be a seek?
So for observing Crownhold, you can either use perception, stealth, survival. You could also use, if you have like scouting lore, warfare lore, architecture, or engineering lore, all of those would be acceptable. Whatever you choose, it should be a blind roll, though.
I will use my scouting lore.
Sounds good.
And I'll manually add the +1.
It should be adding it automatically since you put the Eye of the Unseen effect on yourself.
For rolling scouting lore?
Oh, I see. Technically, if you're rolling scouting lore, you would not gain the benefit of Eye of the Unseen, because that is specifically to perception.
That's fair. I'll just roll perception then.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, the difference effectively would be do you take the item bonus from Eye of the Unseen or the slightly lower DC from using scouting lore?
Would keen eyes come into play?
Yes, they would. You're using your eyesight on this. Taking some time to observe from the distance you're at, only really having that one angle, it's a bit hard to get anything meaningful about Crownhold that could be useful. You're able to get a general idea. The fortress itself is pretty stocky, entirely built of stone. It's built into the side of a steep cliff at the base of a mountain. There are a pair, it looks like, of additional floors above the ground level, each of them set further back against the cliffside and featuring what looks to be sort of crenellated balconies. You are able to see that there are two immense sets of double doors reinforced with iron bands providing entrance into the fortress. And the center of it has the wall adorned with arrow slits, shuttered closed against the cold at the moment. But unfortunately, at this distance, even with the spyglass and your bonuses to perception, without being able to spend time really examining it a bit closer and from different directions, you aren't able to get anything that is super useful.
Okie dokie.
Leela, what would you like to do with your first preparation activity?
I'm going to approach Crownhold too.
Everyone's approaching Crownhold. Fantastic. Go ahead and
Except
give
for
me
the
that.
wizard.
Except for the wizard. Probably smart given your hit point pool.
All right.
Go ahead and give me that stealth or scouting lore check. Okay. Yeah. You definitely approach not quite as well as Philippos and Atlas do, but you do manage to sneak up to Crownhold without being detected.
Mm-hmm.
But you will not gain a bonus to your roll,
Okay.
unfortunately.
One,
Last
two,
but not
I'm
least, Gamail.
What's that?
Gamail, what would you like to do with your first prep action?
I guess I have to approach to discover Crownhold secrets, right?
Nope. Discovering Crownhold
Well, to do
secrets
engineering lore, I mean.
no,
Or did
I
someone
wouldn't say
already do
so.
that and succeed?
Because it's discovering the secrets of Crownhold is more interviewing people and just making general investigation of it.
Okay.
So if you want to discover any secrets about it, that's the general role, which will give different information than observing will.
Okay, well, I'll use an engineering lore to
Sounds good.
discover Crownhold secrets.
All right, and this should be a secret check, please. Unfortunately, trying to generally do some investigation, you know about these sorts of dwarven fortresses before, sort of comparing notes, chatting with a few people about the construction, mainly the merchants, not necessarily the locals, seeing sort of what supplies get shipped for reinforcement of the structure and things like that. Unfortunately, on your initial investigations, you don't really get anything particularly useful.
No opportunity to hero point this?
Unfortunately, because it's a secret check, no.
Okay.
Mostly, it is just you get more chances to do these rolls.
Alright.
So, let's go ahead. We'll do the second round and effectively end the first day here in Glacier's Rest as you all do your first set of investigations and see what information you all get. I also just don't want to forget who approached. So, I mean, Philippos, Atlas, and Leela, are all three of you going to be observing Crownhold?
Sounds like a
Yeah.
You can all roll at the same time then if you want.
This is now the engineering or whatever.
Yeah, so perception, stealth, survival, architecture, scouting, engineering, warfare lore.
Yeah,
There
I'm
should
going
be
to be
secret.
using a couple of magic items too to help me.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to be using a couple of magic items to help me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know what you're using.
One, I'll be slipping these on to climb the wall
Oh,
and get a
okay.
better view.
Yeah, that'll definitely help the vantage points.
And then I slash for being able to see farther.
Okay.
And then at some point I'll use a pest form to fly over head.
Gotcha. All right.
So
Atlas, are you using your scouting eye now?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Philippos, any magic you want to use in particular, or are you just going, gone?
I'm just flying over looking. While
Sure. The aerial
Are there-
assassin crew.
Are there any cows?
I'll get to that here.
Yes, talk to the cows.
And Atlas, do you want me to just go with the roll you used earlier, or do you want to roll again? I will let you
The
make
one
choice.
earlier.
Okay. Which was that. All right. That is a full set of successes for each of you. So, some general solid information, as well as what will be a total of 3 leverage points for the party here. Which leverage points, if I just make sure I'm not spouting bullshit, should be effectively rerolls you can use during the infiltration proper. Which is very nice. All right. Now, because you guys have options to get a lot of leverage points, keep in mind that the awareness point thresholds during the infiltration proper are going to be lower for things to happen. Just keep in mind that. Also, shout out to the fact that in GM core, they're called edge points, and that's what they were pre-remaster also, but in the Pray for Death book, they call them leverage points. Just something funny.
I like the show.
But let's see what sort of information you get. It is pulled randomly from a series of information here, but I will just give you all as a group what information you find. The first main piece of information you guys get seems to be about some of the exterior guards and patrols. One of the main patrols you see pretty consistently out in the tundra are what appear to be a pair of massive polar bear-like creatures with far too many legs each, traveling in pretty wide, sweeping arcs in front of the fortress. Each of them have 2 humanoid figures sitting on their back and seem to be patrolling the region. At one point in the afternoon, Leela, like a minute after you go pest form, on the 2nd floor, the central doors open onto the balcony, and a blue-skinned giant with 3 eyes emerges, holding a mug, sort of tosses the coffee dregs over the wall, swats at you but misses, and goes back inside. And Atlas, you're able to confirm that the balconies on the 2nd and top floors each end with these large round ramparts on the eastern and west corners, each of them holding a springald, which is effectively sort of like a ballista, but they are crewed by 2 soldiers at what appear to be all times. If any of you 3 would like to try and identify the creatures you saw, either the bear-like creatures or the blue-skinned giant with 3 eyes, you're more than welcome to make a recall knowledge roll for me.
Alright. I don't know how to do it, but I will.
I have a thing for this.
Leela, you've got no clue what those are.
Yeah, I figured. I'm just here to hit
I
things.
also have something.
Oh, do you have some stupid I can't lie to you ability?
No, I know. I think this is very much. You can very much lie to me.
You have when you use a lore subcategory in which you're trained, when you roll a crit
Ah.
fail, you get a fail instead. So I cannot lie to you if you're using a lore skill.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, never mind. I have to pick a skill for Pocket Library.
Yeah. Which,
well.
I mean, the bear creatures would be nature, the blue-skinned giant would be society.
I'll do Society.
Okay. And what does Pocket Library actually give you?
+1 status.
Gotcha. And if you roll a crit fail, you get a failure instead.
You can't lie to me.
Damn! And you said that was for your society roll?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, the good news is you failed either way.
Ah.
I'm gonna be honest. Leela and Filipos, I'm too lazy to lie to the two of you right now, but you both crit failed. So, none of you have any idea what the fuck these things are.
Yeah.
That's a giant with too many eyes, and those are bears with too many legs.
Mm.
That's what they are.
Mhm.
Yep.
Take it or leave it.
Not wrong.
Right. But that's about all the information you can find today, so it'd probably be best to head back to Glacier's Rest at this point to reconvene with the group. Memento, what would you like to do for your second preparation activity?
Can I also do stealth?
Are you trying to approach? Or
Yes.
Are you trying... Sure. If you're comfortable spending the night there, right outside their walls.
I might play tricks on them with
You may certainly try if you would like to be on your own outside of the enemy base throughout the night. I will not stop you.
I'm just curious, using my figment and just get an idea of how they deal
They
with
react.
how they react.
You are welcome to do so. I feel like I should mention, you could probably imagine it'll probably in some way increase their awareness. You're welcome to try it and get a good idea of how they react, but you do not know. That's effectively announcing to them that someone is there, though.
So that's fair. Are we in town?
At the moment, you are, yes.
I just talk to the locals.
Sure.
I act like a deranged tourist.
Yeah. Would you rather focus on getting information about Ordulf or Crownhold with this?
Ordorf.
Sure. Yeah. Diplomacy, intimidation, if you want to be a bit more threatening, society, any of those three would work. If you've got Gorum lore or warfare lore, I could also see those working as well.
Could I use deception?
You can. The DC is going to be a little bit higher.
That's fine. I have discreet inquiry and
Sure.
a bunch of stuff.
Gorum is a deity who, above all else, prefers open combat. So sort of trying to deceive their worshippers, while you certainly can do so, is not going to be taken well if anyone catches you.
Well,
Because that's effectively, you'll be seen as a coward.
yeah, I just want to give off the persona that I'm a deranged tourist and try and learn about the area and all the famous people.
All right. Deranged tourist at the end of the world.
Yep.
Love to see it. Go ahead and give me that blind check.
And also, I do have slippery secrets.
Okay. Which makes it hard for any magical effect to detect that you are lying. Cool.
Yeah, just in case. You never know. And that also comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about all the feats now. And that
Confabulator
would
won't
be
be of much help here since this is mostly focused on gathering information. They're not getting any bonuses to your consistent attempts to lie or divert them.
I also got lied to me just in
Yep.
case they tried to play me. Well, let's get to the main event, shall we? And that's a deception.
Mm-hmm. Acting like a deranged tourist, trying to ask people about the general. There's definitely people willing to talk about him in a general capacity, but at least for now, to your initial inquiries, and perhaps it's because of the deranged act, you're not entirely sure the exact reason, but either no one has any particularly useful information, or they just don't seem to be willing to share it with you, at least the people you talk to for now.
But at least I got some general information.
Yeah, you get some general information about who he is as a person. People are happy to share some of the common information about his history that you already know about, namely things like that he's Ulfin, he's from Irison, he's rumored to have wrestled one of the animated huts that guards Irison's borders on his own. His name Blade Caller stems from his seeming ability to end fights with words before blades are drawn.
Now, is it like body language kind of like then all of this guy, or kind of afraid of him?
From what you're able to gather, most of the people in town haven't really ever had any interaction with him per se. They fear him to an extent, but at the same time, they recognize that he is a fellow Gorum worshipper and likely a higher ranking member of the church than any of them. So there is fear and respect for him.
Okay, that's how the dice go.
He may be powerful, but he doesn't necessarily treat the people here badly.
That's so much for trying to incite a revolution.
Could be interesting. These people would be pasted, though, if they went after him and his soldiers.
You'd be fine. Just worship my god.
But yeah, they're
Saren Ray.
a bunch of level 5 townsfolk versus level over 10 infantry. Certainly they'll go well.
It'd be a good distraction to slip through.
Give them just give them spears, the best
Now,
weapon.
that's a good orchestrate timely distraction. Hey, you guys want a revolution? All right, and last but not least, for the first day of infiltration attempts, Gamail, what would you like to try and accomplish here?
Is there a penalty to doing the same thing twice?
Not at all.
All right, I will attempt engineering war again to
Discover some secrets?
crown hold secrets, which is different than the observing, right?
Correct. Yeah, observing requires you to get close and mostly focuses on sort of the people that are there and some of the defenses.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Discovering the secrets is,
Like secret passages.
yeah, knowing a bit more about the actual construction of the building.
Okay. Yeah. Come on.
Much better than last time.
Okay.
That is a leverage point for the party. You don't have any bonuses to your engineering lord, do you? Any way to give yourself just a +1 to it? Simply say because you rolled 1 off of a crit success. I would love to give you the extra information if I can.
Can I cast guidance on him?
Unfortunately, guidance lasts for a round, not for the 8 or so hours that this works.
Fair enough.
What does your share lore spell do again? Can you remind me?
I can share a lore that I have with them, but it's trained. So I'd be able to roll it trained, but
yeah. What, Camille?
Unless it's somewhere in like the class features.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't think you've really got any benefits here. Your construct doesn't have any useful skills that I could argue for aiding you, so I'm sorry. Does your construct have society? Did I see that? No. Stealth and survival. All right, just a regular success. That's still good. That is still a piece of information you're going to get. Let's see what information you are able to gather.
Spend a hero point to get a +1.
No. Let's see. Can you go ahead and roll a d10 for me? Just to see what information you get. 4. That's pretty useful information. From what you are able to find out, you aren't the most magically inclined, but noting the construction, the heavy amount of Gorum influence, what people talk about, from what you're able to hear, it seems that Gorum favors Ordulf in some way. As long as the High Priest Gorum, or not Gorum, Ordulf lives, Crownhold is apparently protected, its guards bolstered, while any enemies are weakened. From what you are able to gather, the entirety of Crownhold is protected by a 7th rank consecrate ritual.
Okay.
But the other information you're able to find out on top of that is that the effect seems to be focused on an altar that is located in the general's bedroom. So if you can get in there and destroy or disrupt the altar, that would end the effects of the consecration. But for a general reminder of what consecrate does, for anyone wondering, especially at 7th rank, anyone in the area who is a worshipper of Gorum will gain a +1 status bonus to attack rolls, skill checks, saves, and perception checks. And anyone anathema to Gorum, you all infiltrating for an assassination would absolutely be anathema, will take a -1 status penalty to those same rolls.
Can't teleport away.
And because it's 7th rank, it has the effects of planar seal over the entirety of Crownhold as well. So it will attempt to counteract any teleportation effects and planar travel into or out of the area. So that's probably good to find out in advance. Would be a shame if you tried to teleport out of there and were denied.
Okay.
But
I'll let the party know about that so that the wizard can start thinking about how to counteract that effect.
absolutely.
If it can simple as just breaking the altar, or is that
I'll definitely research into that.
require dispel magic or something.
Well, as you all finish your first day of infiltration and preparation, your first of 2 days in which you will easily be able to do so without raising any form of awareness. Having reached Glacier's Rest, knowing who your target is, doing your planning in order to take them out, I think that is where we are going to end our session for tonight.
All right.
So thank you all so much for playing. I hope you enjoyed, and I will
Mhm.
see you all next week.
Yep. It gives me time to figure out how to incite revolution.